Do you feel a calling inside? Something itching at you to move forward into a new direction? A call that almost feels like you've always known. You can't specify what it is. You don't know what it's trying to show, but you feel it nonetheless. You feel it drawing you towards some different path. And maybe we've been drawn to build a business. Maybe we've been drawn to go to a different city or country. But if you've done certain things along those lines and it still is there, perhaps it is calling on you for a deeper purpose. And that deeper purpose is unraveling the mysteries that is you, the unconscious, the shadows of your mind, the shadows of your personality. That as long as those things are hidden away or ignored, rejected, that it'll be this consistent pain that you feel, this consistent conflict that you cannot run away from, this internal conflict. And so if you're feeling that calling, maybe today is the day you start to investigate. Maybe today is the day that you can look inwardly and face head on as a warrior from an archetypal perspective, to face head on what it is that is itching at you, what it is that is calling on to you to make a shift, move in a different direction. These challenges we feel internally, these complexes, these focused energy centers, if you will, these emotional knots, when we ignore them and we leave them to their own devices, they have to some degree a personality of their own, often taking possession over you, where you'll have moments of behavior that afterward, when you reflect on it, you think, I don't know why I did that. I don't understand what came over me. We hear that saying a lot. And these complexes and these internal imbalances seek to balance themselves out. Your soul, your inner mechanism aims to balance. But if we do not balance it through confronting the shadow elements, then the way it balances out is through means that we may not find to be in our best interest. And those things can be, we feel inferior because perhaps we've been told that. Or maybe perhaps we've been in an environment where, we've had people belittle us. We've had people bully. Or we've been ignored, not heard. And so it's created this complex, this energy knot, this trauma memory that you have. And in trying to balance it, you've sought validation through achievement, through success. Maybe you have sought to hurt other people, make them feel smaller as a way to just balance yourself out. And that is what I mean by the complex aiming to balance. It needs to express. And then the other way it can express is if we bottle it hard enough, then you flip that aggression onto yourself. The self-abuse. And that can lead to physical ailments, pains, psychic pains, up and down emotional swings, to the point where perhaps you have to disassociate, separate from yourself, fragment yourself internally. And then you enter the state of identity loss. You don't know who you are anymore. But something I'm going to tell you that should really reassure you and excite you is that you have not gone anywhere. You just have to pick up the pieces. And the way you pick up the pieces is by observing internally the elements that you do not want to face. And you face them with curiosity, adventure, compassion, and empathy. The balance between a firm hand and a compassionate, loving nurturer, the mother and father figure. Separating yourself from them so you can observe them. Journaling is a wonderful way to do that. If you're not a person that journals, maybe you can draw. Maybe you can sculpt. Find your way of separating yourself from it. Because the more we attach to it, we start to identify, and the emotions grip you and hold you down. You can't even process the information. And so having that ability to split from it, to see it from afar, as if it's something in the room with you, to talk to it, discuss it, understand its shape, its personality. And then at that point, you can decide whether to cast it away and you practice that ritual, or you can decide to integrate with it because there are elements of it that are part of you that has allowed you to become who you are today. Maybe you're resilient. Maybe you are braver. Maybe you have this untapped creativity that it gave you some sense of insight with. There's always something within it that's light. And when we can integrate it, we can harness its power. And then when you start to harness the power of that energy, of that complex, the archetype, you can massage it out. Then you can focus it, reinterpret your story, reinterpret the path of your life. And then purpose will just start to happen. Purpose is hard. It's hard to find purpose by just sitting up in the ego only, ignoring the bottom half, ignoring the inner child that sits within the adult that you are. And understand that if that inner child, which is your soul, is not understood or dealt with or respected and treated with love and compassion, and the firm hand that says, we're going to have to figure this out, that inner child stays wounded and it forms passive or active shadow traits that then manifest themselves into your adult life. And so we got to dig all the way down. And the way you dig down, you take your time. This is not a rushed thing. I tell my clients all the time that you cannot rush this process. This is step by step. Enjoy each moment, even if it's brutal and you get only a little bit of insight, a little bit of understanding, or a little bit of progression towards a newer life and a newer story. You cherish that and you enjoy it and you can reward yourself for it. And then you continue to do the same process as long as you can. It's a lifelong journey. Because at the end of that journey, the hope is that we get integrated with the ego and the soul. That all throughout you are aligned and you've channeled and you can understand how to tap into these archetypal energies. The warrior, the king, the magician, the lover. If you guys want to actually get more insight on that, Robert Moore has a wonderful book on it. And he breaks them down very, very well if you want to get more insight into the archetypes. But understanding them, harnessing them, then you can begin to live a more integrated, strong, genuine strength. And then purpose will start to come. So if this resonated with you, I'd love for you guys to join my community. If you click that link below, it'll send you over to my website. If you sign up to my newsletter, I'm going to send you my 3-step identity rebuilding guide as a thank you and as a gift for joining. This is a community that I wish I had when I went through my own time of identity crisis and loss after a dream that just sort of faded away, and I woke up one day, didn't want to do it, and it created this years of pain for me. But throughout that time, I built a Rule of 3 method that I now teach to you guys in hopes to rebuild purpose back into your life, rediscover who you are, and move towards a soul and integrated lifestyle.